There's no building of this world or any kind of substance behind it.
That's not true.
I disagree entirely with that.
Fair enough.
So this one was called Azrael, Angel of Death. And this was the second feature from the director. I think his name is E.L. Katz.
Yep.
And I was a big fan of his first movie. Yeah, I don't know if Cheap Thrills was the first thing he's ever done, but it was his first full-length feature, I think.
Yeah,
it was a great little dark comedy.
Yeah, I'd never seen that before Fright Fest, and then subsequently watched it after and loved it. It's great. Yeah. It's a lot of fun.
And I just, like the day before going to Fright Fest, heard about this movie, Azrael. I didn't actually know at the time when I heard about it that it was going to be showing. But I'm a big fan of Samara Weaving, and, I'd heard about the kind of the hook of the movie, which is that there's very little dialogue. And, there was going to be a post-apocalyptic setting and very violent. So, I was really, really excited to see it.
Jam.
Yeah, absolutely. And it absolutely delivered for me. When you set your expectations quite high, there's a chance of being disappointed. But no, I mean...
Which is exactly what happened to me when it came to me.
Overhyped it for you, maybe. But for me, absolutely delivered, and probably was my favourite movie that we saw.
It was funny, you now say that you were underwhelmed by it, and it lived up to your expectations. It's funny how you two have share many similar opinions on horror movies, but
There's
you
some
really
certain
disagree.
Movies that polarize. I didn't hate it. I thought it was pretty good, but it wasn't as good as I hoped it would be. It's because it's one of those kind of movies that's very minimalist, and you just thrown into this world, follow these characters on their ride, and then there's a conclusion to their little story, which is fine. But
you just described a movie, Mike. You just described a movie.
No, because there was no dialogue. First of all, there's no building of this world or any kind of substance behind it.
That's not true.
Well, I mean, it is. we got a little bit of it, but really, it just seemed I don't know. If you wanted to do a movie like that, I feel like it would need to be a bit more like dreamlike and fantastical. I guess
it's pretty
kind
damn
of
fantastical.
set in realism, but you got no real
burnt zombies
context.
Right now. Yeah, like the opening crawl, like introduced it. It was like a post-rapture world, right? So you can kind of read between the lines with these kind of burnt zombie people that they were.
And explained or not, the things I saw weren't particularly fresh for me. I mean, I won't spoil the ending, but that is a thing that I've seen in many horror movies before. A lot of the kind of stuff that happens is things that I've seen before. I love Samara Weaving, and for that I'm putting it above where I would have. And it's very well directed as well. My fault lies with the lack of substance behind the writing.
Yeah, because I disagree with you on the whole substance thing. I don't quite understand where you're coming from.
It's the same reason I was never much of a fan of Fury Road until Furiosa came out. Maybe it's because in my mind, I'm somewhat more of a writer than any of the other things, that I approach it from thinking about the writing.
Yeah, I mean, I was just impressed the fact that they could get through the whole movie basically without any dialogue.
Yeah, but silent film did that for
They did,
years.
but they were forced into that at the time. This is a choice.
And the artist did that in 2011 and won an Oscar for it.
Yeah, but this is that's a whole different kettle of fish, though, right? The artist.
You're still
Also, that's not actually a fair comparison, because silent movies and the artist have intertitles, which are in lieu of dialogue. But still,
and what was that text at the start?
It was an opening crawl of information at the time. Yeah, but there was no.
Star Wars has that.
Yeah, it's still a form of intertitle. Okay, we got one, but they use that in lieu.
Into what?
Anyway,
into the start and the seeing anything.
The fact that there was an artistic choice made within this movie to do it the way they did, and I liked how they did it.
Yeah, I like making that decision. I just think it could have been executed better. That's all I'm saying.
I disagree entirely with that.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Just because I thought that it was a lovely story. Not lovely in the fact it was a nice story.
I thought it was pretty heartwarming.
It was such a romance, yeah.
But the story itself to me was just... It wasn't bigger than it aimed to be. It was just this story about this character who comes across some other people, and then you go. Yeah. That's basically it. And he has some sort of zombies there as well.
Yeah,
and it was just a story. And it didn't need to be about saving the world. It didn't need to have a bigger overarching
I'm
world.
definitely not saying I wanted that. I just wanted more context to her little world.
But what's wrong with not having that context allows that person to go away from the film, not having everything written down for them. I like the idea. I don't know where she came from.
Yeah, but the problem is I want to care a little bit.
Yeah, but you can care
about what it means, not just kind of
because you
feel like it doesn't mean anything.
Well, you can't empathise with someone if you don't know their entire life history.
You got to know something about them. That's human nature.
What about
right?
her situation? Like the immediate threat that she's in. You can't empathise.
Immediate threat, and you're given that immediate threat.
The world's shit. She's probably better off dead in that world.
Well, there is, but there's this. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
You are probably better off dead in that world. However, you survive, and human instinct is to keep on surviving. So if you are in that situation, you are going to do that. And I got very much kind of Last of Us vibes, especially Last of Us 2. There's specific areas in Last of Us 2.
Which is a masterpiece, one of the best games of all time.
So yeah, I enjoyed that, and I thought in a way, it's more what I wanted that Last of Us series to be than what it actually is. Maybe it'll do better in Series 2.
I mean,
I don't know.
To be fair, Season 2 would be more of an appropriate time.
Yeah, it would.
Yeah.
Anyway, I just enjoyed it as a little story. So Dave, give us your rating out of 10.
I'm going to give it 9.3476 out of 10.
Mike?
9 is wild, man. I'm giving it a 7.
7? Okay, yeah. I'm going to go 9 as well. I'm going with 9.
1 point shy of The Godfather. Azrael.